just as he handed me out the business card, the way he turned his head, his full aviators shone the bright orange sky right into me. When I got back to my apartment, I put the card under my reading lamp. Frank's first call, boiler and repair. Marco Tucciarone. Scribbled on the back his phone number, and weekends call after 9 o'clock. About a week later, after a bottle of Vin Santo, I sat with my telephone in my lap, wrapping the curly Q cord in my fingers. Marco's business card under my reading lamp. Weekends call after 9 o'clock, written in strangely cursive handwriting. 3 months later, on the stoop of 3986, Frank's first call, boiler and repairs, black van pulls out, double parks. At first I'm relieved because the too loud music isn't Maria Callas, it's hip-hop. The Italian guy that gets out of the passenger side looks like he's still in high school. His orange coveralls are too long for him, and he has to stop and roll the pant legs up off his boots. He doesn't like that his coveralls don't fit. He's cussing the long legs of his coveralls or cussing his short legs. I don't know, there's something he isn't happy about. He's bent over, his ass pointed my way. It's through his legs he sees me standing on the second stair of the stoop. He straightens up fast and turns around. The look on his face as he looks at me, his dark eyes inside those eyes, it's hate. What the fuck are you looking at? I have to remind my internal homophobia that I'm just standing on the stoop, on the second step, waiting for the boiler guys. And the boiler guys came, and one of them stepped out, bent over, and started pointing his ass at me. A gorilla, this guy, the way he stares at my white boots, walks up to me, past me, up to the third step so he can look me in the eye. Frankie Jr. sewn in red above his pocket. Puffed up in the chest like Hank makes his chest, but I don't know Hank yet, and this guy isn't at all like Hank. He's mean. Frank's first call, boiler repair, mean. And up this close, his breath smells of beer and his skin is bad, and there's something about his eyes. He isn't 20 years old yet, and his tiny brown eyes are red. Frankie Jr. That voice. I know that voice. It's the voice who called out my name one evening 3 months ago on the glowing. Marco. Your dad's on his two-way. He wants to talk to you. Frankie Jr.'s brown, dead eyes go from my eyes to Marco. It's in that moment I can see the hate in Frankie Jr.'s eyes. It doesn't have anything to do with me. He's got a chip on his shoulder, or a hangover, bad drugs, really bad gas, or just somehow fucked up, and whoever he runs into has to pay for it. Frankie Jr. steps down, the too long pant leg scraping the bottom step. Motherfucker, he yells, and kicks his too long pant leg at the step. Orange cunt fucking pants, he yells. Can't fucking even walk. Marco stands tall on the sidewalk, his toolbox in his right hand. His thin mustache, those red lips, full aviator glasses. Even though I can't see his eyes, I can tell his dove gray eyes are not looking at me. They're not looking at Frankie Jr. either. There's something resigned about Marco. Like, this is my fucking job, and this is my fucking life, and this is my boss's fucking spoiled brat son. And this guy in the second stair is the fucking guy who never called me back. As I speak, I try to put in my words a softness, some kind of apology. Hey Marco, I said, how's it going? A quick breath in, Marco gets taller, his shoulders go up, his right arm lifts the toolbox, lets it sit back down. The fucking full aviators, man. He's not Marco Tucciarone. He's Boiler Man, and nothing's gonna touch this guy. Frankie Jr. slams the van door. So where's this fucking boiler? I unlock the door to the basement, turn on the light. The shit smell is still strong. Frankie Jr. is right behind me. By the third step, he's cussing again. Somebody fucking died out here? On the cement floor, no sign of turds or toilet paper. Fucking A, somebody died, he said. Shit themselves first and sprayed it down with perfume water. The single light bulb was hanging right above us. Shadows of us puddles on the cement floor. Frankie Jr. is standing right next to me. Marco steps up from behind him, bends down and opens the toolbox. When I look up, the dark shadows on Frankie Jr.'s cheeks, his dead eyes are so dead they become black holes. It's time to tell them what's up with the boiler. My fucking mouth that doesn't know how to speak to big, loud, macho, brute Italian guys, especially when the news ain't good, is just about to speak. But the black hole in Frankie Jr.'s face, man. The black hole starts sucking me in. Fuck, man, I don't know who smells worse, Frankie Jr. says. This fucking basement or you? Would you take a bath in foo-foo water? He's a half head shorter than me and his body is thick. Marco starts taking out his tools and laying them on the cement. His faux aviators reflect the light bulb. You wait, you lose. That quick, Frankie Jr. pulls the flashlight out of his side pocket, turns the flashlight on, shines the light onto the boiler apparatus. The three of us all turn to look. I hadn't sprayed it down. Excuse me. I hadn't sprayed it down. I was too freaked the boiler had stopped, and I ran out of there and didn't spray down the boiler apparatus. The black electric motor, the spark plugs, the wires coming out of it, the oil filter, the copper tubing, the pump, the blower system, all of it, covered in toilet paper and turds. Frankie Jr. goes ballistic. Motherfucker and motherfucker. Stomps up the stairs. Marco picks up a wrench, puts it back in the toolbox. When Marco realizes he's alone with me, he does that quick breath in again, and his shoulders go up. That quick he follows Frankie Jr. up the stairs. I stay in the basement, think maybe somebody should stay with the tools. The dark, wet basement looks like a dungeon where people get tortured. The metal push broom I've left is leaning against the stairs. In the foyer, Marco's standing in the vestibule. I walk up next to him slow, make enough noise so he knows I'm approaching. I stand next to him, not close, and lean up against the door jamb. I'm surprised I'm taller than him. Outside it's bright and hot. In the black van out the passenger side door, Frankie Jr.'s stocky orange legs stick out into the sun. The upper half of him is in shadow. He's yelling to John Gotti, Frank Sr. on the two-way. Inside, next to Marco, I think of what I want to say, then say it. I thought I'd got it all cleaned up. Marco from the side looks like Michelangelo's David with a thin mustache and his nose busted off. He doesn't look around at me, just pushes his bald cap off his forehead. When he speaks, it's almost a whisper. Man, he says, you should have said something. Frankie Jr. starts jumping up and down and banging his two-way against the van. He throws the phone onto the sidewalk and kicks it. He's screaming, fuck, fuck, fuck. Marco, he yells, get the fucking toolbox. We're getting the fuck out of here. Marco's an orange flash down into the basement. I'm right behind him on the stairs. I'm saying, you guys can't just leave. You're professionals. There's people in this building without hot water. The whole time I'm talking, I'm trying to get Marco to look at me, but he's too busy checking around for tools. Marco closes up his toolbox, latches the latch. I'm standing between him and the stairs. I'm sorry, Marco, I say. Really, I'm sorry. I called the number you gave me, but the automated voice was weird, so I hung up. Who is this fag? Marco says this because Frankie Jr. is standing behind me. Propinquity. I could say I didn't see it coming, but I did. Frankie Jr. grabs my arms and pins them to my back. He's strong, well, bodybuilder strong. Marco's fist hits me square in the face, then a blow out to my neck and I'm down. Things go away for a while. All I know is my face is on the cement floor, and that floor had been covered in shit, and somehow I try and pull my lips away from the wet shit cement. Frankie Jr. is talking, faggot boots. What's a red handkerchief supposed to mean? Takes it up the ass? Then another blow, something right between the eyes, and the light goes off. Inside forever it is only dark, cast out. There is no breath. In my sternum, in the middle of my chest, a light bulb, you can see the filament flickering. It's when I hear the basement door close, I wake up. Some deep fear of getting locked in, panic in my breath, and I grab my pocket and my hands are around the keys. I rip off my jacket, rip off my shirt. The metal push broom is the first solid thing my hands finds. I'm not sure of all of what happens next. The dark stairway is only heaving, panicked breath, and then the door. The door crashes open because I don't put my hand around the doorknob and turn. I slam my body against the wood door and the wood splinters, and there's light, and I'm not in the darkness, and I can breathe. The black van is just pulling away. I'm running, Quasimodo breathing, loud hip-hop from the van. Marco's on the passenger side. The window's open, the black hairs of his forearm, his faux aviators. The metal broom crashes down onto the windshield. The windshield cracks and caves in. The van swerves, hits a car on the other side. Marco yells at Frankie Jr., "Don't stop, keep driving." I swing the broom again, let it go. The van's side mirror goes limp, dangling down like something dead. The engine stalls. Frankie's cussing and the van won't start. He goes for his door. Marco grabs his shoulder. "No, keep driving, Marco," Marco yells. Steam's rolling out of the hood. The van starts, the back tire is spinning in reverse. I'm right at the passenger window. Marco doesn't try to close the window. He just looks over at me. I yell some kind of ancient fucked up grunt and jump, swing hard, hit him in the face harder than he hit me. Marco's head jerks back with his blow, his faux aviators bent to shit. A jab of pain in my hand moves up my arm. Burnt rubber smoke. The van jumps and starts trying to take off. I'm running right alongside. The running boy fucking loves to run. In his white rubber sissy boots, he loves to run. Marco's still looking at me, right at me, blood streaming out his nose. Those dove gray sensitive eyes. He doesn't try to move away, doesn't bring his arm up. I leap again and yell, hit him in the face again, more blood. Blood smeared all over his face. The van is pulling away and I'm running, and still he looks at me. Eyes like they could never look up into the sun or at God the Father or work at Frank's first hall boiler and repair. Then all of a sudden everything's bright and loud and full, and I'm in the middle of 2nd Avenue. Horns are honking and people are screaming. The yellow cab on my left is coming right at me. I jump back so fast it's like I'm flying. What I remember next is I'm in my apartment, looking in my bathroom mirror. My eye is a deep purple, almost swollen shut. Dried blood on my face from the gash just at my hairline. In the bright white light, there's blood on everything. Blood in my hair, blood on my white t-shirt, my Levi's, my white rubber boots. On the floor, on the sink, on the mirror, blood. The hot water is running into the sink. The sound of the water against the porcelain. My bloody red hand. The hot water onto the bloody white bar rag. And that's the damnedest thing. I can't figure out where that bar rag came from.